Hello everyone, it's Pastor Dan here at Southminster, and just joining you by video today to offer you a very special invitation and share some announcements and logistics with you. This Sunday morning, May 31st, we'll be offering our first on-campus worship options in several weeks. We're so excited to have some possibilities to get back together, but I do want to join you and just kind of be on the same page, share with you some details about what it's going to look like, the options that are available to you, and just help you to kind of consider some of the things that that will be offered this Sunday morning. We are going to have two worship services, one at 8:30 in the morning, one at 10 a.m. There'll be two identical services. We expect both to last about 45 to 50 minutes long so that we can get everyone in and get everyone out in a timely manner and be ready for the second service. Also, with some of the unexpecteds with weather and temperature, we recognize that perhaps a shorter time of worship is appropriate, and the biggest component of this is just to see each other's faces again and to be around and to feel that sense of community that we're all desperately missing. So two service options this morning, or this Sunday, 8:30 a.m. and 10 o'clock a.m. And as you come on campus, we've worked through some logistics and some different ideas. Weather has played a portion. Some of the changing parameters for churches in this time has played a role in some of our thought processes and planning. But we're going to be here right outside the church office on this little lawn area. And as you come and gather, enter into the west parking lot, the side that is closest to Harris Teeter. Enter into that parking area, and that will be kind of the center of activity, and there's going to be a couple options for ways that you can participate in worship. For those of you who want to pull up and remain in your car, you will be able to sit in your car and worship and tune in through the FM radio in your vehicle. For those of you who would want to pull up and park and sit right outside your vehicle and some chairs that you bring, you should be able to hear and participate through the PA system. And then for those of you who want to park and bring a lawn chair and come sit right up here on the lawn, that will be an option as well. I do want to very clearly remind you that we will be continuing our digital worship option. I know we have several folks who don't yet feel comfortable being on campus, and so we will continue our digital worship option for those that are looking for that. Let me give you a few details about each one of these options. If you want to come and park and worship in your vehicle, you don't ever have to get out of your vehicle. When you get here on campus, we'll have signage that directs you to what channel you need to turn your FM radio to. We'll ask you to turn your ignition to your accessory mode, meaning you can still use your radio. You might want to roll down the windows, but turn off your engine. Having that many cars in proximity, we don't want 20 or 30 vehicles running for 40 or 50 minutes and creating the exhaust here, as we have some folks who will be worshiping outside and breathing in that air. So we want to be mindful of that. So we'll ask you to turn your vehicle to the accessory mode, tune in on your FM radio, roll down the windows. You should be able to hear everything and participate, and we'll have folks directing you and guiding you where to park so that we're spaced out. If you want to come and sit next to your vehicle, we'll have designated parking a little closer for folks who want to park their car, bring some lawn chairs, sit right in front of their car. You should be able to hear from the PA system, or if you want to roll down the windows in your vehicle and turn on your FM radio, that will work as well. Also, for those who want to park and bring some lawn chairs, you have that option as well, and you can come and sit here on the lawn area and tune in and hear what's happening through the PA system. We're going to ask you to park in specific areas for those three options, and there is a map detailing those options included in this email. For those of you who are parking your vehicle and coming to sit on the lawn, we're going to ask you to park in the northernmost parking. It's parking spaces that will be obstructed by the steel delivery, so it's not a great option for those who are in their car. We'll ask you to park there and come and sit on the lawn. For those of you who want to remain in your vehicle, we're going to ask you to park in the perimeter parking that's indicated in blue on the map that's included. And for those of you who want to sit right outside your vehicle, that's indicated in green on your map. We're getting a delivery here, so let me pause for 1 second. All right, so I lost my train of thought a little bit, but we got an important delivery for our weekday school. But anyway, back to it here. So we have those three options. If you want to park and remain in your vehicle, look at those parking spaces that are blue on the map, perimeter parking. If you want to park and sit right outside your vehicle, look at those spaces that are green on the site map. If you want to park and get out of your car and sit on the lawn, or if you're a volunteer or worship leader, if you will park in the north parking, which is orange pink on the map, and we'll sit in the yellow area on the map, the indicated as the lawn seating. Let me just say this, and let's be mindful of this. Look, I understand from many conversations with many of you that we all have a different comfort level right now. And that's one of the reasons that we are offering these various options. We want everyone to have the opportunity to worship, from those who want to sit on the lawn, those who are comfortable right outside their car, those who are comfortable in their car, and those who are going to stay home and worship digitally. We understand that. There is no award for being the least concerned at this point in time or the most concerned at this point in time. There's no award for that, but there is a blessing, there is rich blessing in loving each other well. And so I want to really encourage us, and I want us to all be on the same page with that. And in the model of Christ, I'm going to ask you to be mindful of the person that is most concerned in this time and perhaps most at risk. We recognize that Christ did not use his freedom for his desires. He used his freedom to lay down his life, to surrender the things that he wanted to do for the betterment and the blessing of others. So I'm going to ask us in the model of Christ to do the same thing, to be most mindful of others and those who are most concerned and those who are least comfortable and perhaps most vulnerable at this point in time. And I'm going to ask you to model that as Christ would. While we're here, please maintain social distance, 6 feet apart. Look, this is going to be so hard. I understand it. Let's just be honest and recognize with each other this is going to be really hard. A couple weeks ago, I was walking down the hallway on a Wednesday night. The praise team was starting to get together to record some songs, and I saw Danny Knight for the first time in many weeks coming down the hallway. And if you know Danny, you know his heart, his spirit, you know how his hugs, and every fiber of my DNA started to move to Danny to give him a hug, and I had to catch myself and say, yeah, we're not supposed to be doing that right now. And I know it is going to feel very odd to be at church, to be at worship and not shake hands and hug each other. And I'm going to ask you, to be mindful of that, to consider, and don't put somebody on the spot. I don't know if in this time you've been asked by others, are you hugging? It's real hard to say no when someone puts you on the spot. And so I'm going to ask you, don't put others on the spot. Just assume that someone is very concerned, and for their best interest, maintain social distance. I'm going to ask you to consider a mask, as I shared a couple weeks ago in my reflections on Philippians 2. The reality of a mask is it is a sacrificial act. It is really not about you protecting yourself from others. A mask is most effective if you have the virus and you cough, or you're singing, or you're speaking, you're not sharing it with someone else. And I know many of us think, well, I don't have any symptoms. That's one of the potential dangers of this particular virus, is many people are asymptomatic or are contagious for weeks without feeling symptoms. And so I want to ask you to strongly consider a mask as a sign of loving and caring for your neighbors. It's one of the best ways to keep from transmitting this virus. I'll ask you to bring a chair. Don't forget a chair. If you want to sit outside of your vehicle, bring a chair. And look, what can I say? This week we're going to be giving it a go. For the last several weeks, every church, every organization, everybody's been learning how to redo everything they do in a totally different way. As I said, this was not our original plan. I can't even tell you what draft we're on of plans and logistics, but there's a lot of things that go on the back end of putting this all together. Thank you again to so many folks, especially Karen Knight and Jeff Hurley and Mike Teague and Richard Dyer, who've been, really working out how to do this with an FM transmitter, where to place things, how to recreate a soundboard, and all these things that go. There's so many little details behind the scenes, and I appreciate those folks so much and the ways they've thought this. And look, just honestly, we're going to be working out the kinks as we go forward, figuring this out. And what we do this Sunday morning might look different, and as we learn lessons about what works and what doesn't, and so we'll figure that as we go along. Finally, I just want to say this. Look, here's the reality of our time. We're all betting on something, right? We're all making a wager here, taking the best, evidence and information that is given to us, and making a guess, a wager on what's the right way to proceed. I know that some of us feel that, as a society, maybe even as a congregation, me personally, you might feel I'm moving too slow, or we're moving too slow, and that we're wagering and losing and having a significant economic impact in our society. Some folks might think we're moving too quick, and we're having a significant health risk, and I really understand both of those perspectives, and I hope we all understand that we're wagering something. We're taking the information we have and we're making a guess, the best guess, a hypothesis of what's the best way to move forward. And so I understand that. And we also recognize that there have been churches in other states. I read an article this week about several churches in Georgia, one of the first states to reopen, that went back full blast, worship indoors, and became an epicenter for an outbreak, and have closed since, and have lost several members, and have had many more come down with this virus. And so here's the deal, and this is just as clear as I can put it. If I'm wrong, and I know some of you are probably thinking, I can't believe, we're not back in worship, we're not going full bore. I know there's other churches in Gaston County that are doing that, but here's the deal. Here's where I land on this. If I'm wrong, I would much rather you and I get together 6 months from now over coffee, and you give me a hard time, you tell me you think I'm a wimp and I was scared and it was overblown and I can't believe I didn't open worship, and you can make fun of me and rib me and tell me how goofy you think it was, and I understand that, and I'll take that. If I'm wrong, I'd much rather have that conversation and be wrong in that way than have to stand up at your memorial service and say, you know what, we were wrong. We weren't concerned enough. We didn't take enough precautions. We went too fast. That's just how I look at it as a shepherd of the congregation. My primary concern is your health and well-being, and I know you may not agree with that or some of the plans, but I hope you understand it, and I hope you understand my heart and what we're doing and why we're doing it, and I hope you'll join in creating a community of concern and care and compassion where we think about the needs of others, and we allow other people, everyone, to feel comfortable at worship in this time. That being said, I cannot wait to see your faces on Sunday. I hope that you, if you're comfortable, you'll join us in one capacity or another. I hope we've given enough options for people at various comfort levels to be engaged as they feel appropriate and comfortable. And this time has highlighted for me the essence of the church, that relationships and community. It has been, I do not enjoy preaching to a video camera. I love to see your faces as we dig into the Word of God. And the times that I've had Zoom meetings or seen people, some folks have come, Jerry and Debbie Keller drove through the parking lot the other day. I just got to see their face. Some other folks I've seen around here and there coming and going. Just seeing people again has been so life-giving. And so I'm excited about this Sunday. I'm excited about our time to worship, and hope to see you soon. God bless you. Take care. Also hope that you'll be a part of our crazy stories of the Bible study. There's details about that in this email as well. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you Sunday. Grace and peace to you. God bless.